people. Yes. Hello, hello. Hey, Eva. Yes. Oh my God. Hello, hello. It's Friday. What a week. Count every vote. Count every vote. Count every vote. Count every vote. What? Ooh, I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna calm down. Let me turn this down. So I lost my voice this morning because I heard some yelling out my window, and it woke me up at 8 o'clock, and I had to go see what was going on, of course. And I couldn't tell. But then I looked at my phone and I saw the counts. And I started screaming. And then I've lost my voice. So, but today, we're going to take a break from all of that. And I'm going to bring in my girl Shannon Stowe for this dannIGeeLive special edition. And Shannon is going to interview me. So it should be cool. So let me go find her. And we are going to get this going. Ew, 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 ew. Shannon.
Count every vote.
What is happening, Shannon? Wait.
How are you?
I gotta turn you up. I'm sorry. How are you? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. You look beautiful.
I think I dressed up for you.
And I dressed down, actually. I didn't show this before, but I don't know if you can see it. So this is a t-shirt for the Exonerated 5, sold by Madison Park NYC, I think is the name of the brand.
Oh,
and
nice.
I thought it would be super apropos to wear this t-shirt since the man in office tried to railroad these young men umpteen years ago when the Central Park situation happened, and basically was calling for their deaths. And so with the news that came out today and the count where we are right now,
Right?
you know what? I'm going to wear this t-shirt in honor of those young men and what they went through because of that man, partly, but a lot because of him. And he's since not, taken it back. He hasn't apologized to them.
Oh.
All of it. So anyway, I have on my Exonerated 5 t-shirt in honor of the news today. Happy Friday. We are with Shannon Stowe.
Hi.
Triple Sweat Fitness. Her company is linked at the bottom of the page. I will also link it to my bio after this is over. And I am excited. And Shannon, take it away.
As we flip the tables, I sent a text. What was that? Like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, why don't you get interviewed? Because you have like this amazing life, and I don't know why, but I just all of a sudden got all emotional thinking about you. And we get to hear about you from, like, as you tell stories with other people, and you've interviewed, like, oh my gosh, amazing people.
Oh, thanks.
And I think everybody should go back and listen. Even if you don't know somebody, you learn so much.
Yes.
From hearing those, hearing somebody speak about their life. And so I was like, yeah, we should turn the tables.
Absolutely.
And give you
Cheers to that. So I got my little...
Ooh. And so look at this. I have like,
oh my God. That's so great. Oh my God, Tony's watching. Hi, Aunt Tony. Philadelphia. Philly in the house.
Yay!
Philly coming through.
So cool.
Cautiously optimistic.
Right?
I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to get too, but I woke up in a much better frame of mind than I was for sure yesterday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I was just, I was looking, I honestly, and I got some saved. I was looking at apartments and homes in Costa Rica.
Right? Like, I'm gonna, I would pack my bags and hide in your suitcase and go with you.
Yeah,
I mean, whew, it feels so much better.
That's
And
right. It does.
more inspiring seeing like all of the Facebook posts, seeing more.
Oh.
I mean, it's still day 3 of election day, but like seeing all the stuff with Stacey Abrams and all of that stuff. So
Stacey Abrams and
yeah.
all of her entire team, but just honestly, it's for the American people to have shown up like they have, even with all the trickery. I didn't want to say the F word because my auntie's watching, but the effery
But we know.
and all the voter suppression efforts, them taking mailboxes out of neighborhoods. I mean, and even now, all the lawsuits. I'm just like, dude, really? Yeah. So basically, you're saying that all the votes that have been counted, even by your supporters, they don't matter?
Yeah.
So it's your people too, dude. So I just
yeah.
Anyhow.
Well, let's talk about you.
Okay.
And I just want to also say to everybody, like, what's so cool, because we met in dance class, and we kept the dance class, and then I started going to summer stage, and then every time I would go to summer stage, it would rain out. So when we get back to real life, I'm just gonna have to disguise myself or something. And this pandemic plus all of this crazy 2020 like brings you some gifts, and one of those is that we have gotten to be a lot closer.
Yes.
Like our friendship has been something that's been a rock, and everybody should know that it's amazing how in all of that distance and separation you can find each other and build something. So thank you for being such a rock to me, to like our creative world. And so you're a toast to you. Because what?
I just love what I do. So when you love what you do, it comes easy. I think you don't think of it as work.
Yeah,
it's not work.
It's joy. It's life. It's
yeah.
So one thing, so I have my little list of questions.
Okay, I'm ready.
Who knows what'll happen, where they'll go. But one thing that I love hearing about is I remember, and it's probably all messed up because of time and age and all that, but I remember my very first experience with dance where I was like, oh, that thing. What was yours? What was your earliest memory of dance, and what did it do to you, and when did you find the moment of like, that's I think I have that? And then
I mean, apparently I was always very active as a child, and my aunt, who's watching still, I think, she used to, even when I was little, I'd always be dancing around the house, and her nickname for me was Craster, for various reasons. The nickname, a mix between like Casper the Ghost. I mean, I was very pale as a child. I mean, I have, but whatever. But always dancing, and I think it was in elementary school. No, I'm sorry, I take that back. When I was about 5 or 6, my mother took my sister and I to see The Wiz in New York. And that was my first experience seeing dance like that, and the lights and the costumes. And I think that sort of sparked that initial real fuse. And then even in my elementary school, public school in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Literally right across the street from my mother's house, where I grew up, one of my teachers was into the arts, and one of the morning assemblies that she put together was a dance show of dancers through the ages, like
cool.
Mostly European dances, but like minuet, waltz, and things like that, up to like the jitterbug and Lindy Hop and all these other things. And because, again, my mom, we would, on the weekends especially, I love doing this with her. We would sit and watch old movies, and, seeing movies with Gene Kelly and Sid Charisse and the Nicholas brothers and all these people, Stormy Weather, Lena Horne, and, I didn't know who he was at the time, but like Geoffrey Holder, Carmen de Lavila, dancing.
Yes.
it just really spoke to me. So I was learning these dances just by watching TV, and I was the only one in my class who knew what these dances were, like the waltz and the minuet. So that was quite, so that, I call that my debut. And because I physically matured pretty quickly, I, at a very young age, you know, third or fourth grade, I was able to fit some of my mother's clothes, believe it or not. And so I wore this, she had this long floral dress that I wore for the performance. And so anyway, I felt like a little star. And, you know, but it wasn't until I went to performing arts school. It was a small private school at that time in Philadelphia that I really was able to see, like, yeah, I love this. I have talent. I had wonderful teachers who encouraged me. One in particular, I'll always, you know, remember her. I'm having it now, but Carla Washington. You know, I was only in sixth grade. I hadn't declared a major at that point. I mean, I was still quite chubby with my flat feet and all of the above. But she saw something in me, and she would pull me to the side during like we call it like a free hour, but she would oversee that time with the students, and she would just pull me to the side and have me at the ballet bar doing plies, working on my stretch, working on my feet. And by the end of that year, she had taught me a solo that I performed for my school's assembly, and that was it. I was hooked. I mean, the applause. And I honestly, though, I gotta say, it was a very Ailey-esque, cry-esque solo, right? I mean, I had this long skirt. I'll never forget, a long skirt with this golden unitard. And, you know, maybe she was inspired by that, I'm sure. But a lot of the movements were sweeping, you know, leg rond de jambes, fan kicks, you know, a lot of torso and contractions, all this angst. I'm like, what?
I love it.
You're in sixth grade. What angst? You know, well, actually, no, I take that back because my dog had died right before I went to school, started that school. So I tapped into losing my husky, you know? Yeah, so I think that's really when the light bulb went off. And I was always a physical kid, like running the streets, tomboy, jumping. So the running and the physicality of dance really just spoke to me.
That's awesome. I love hearing I just love hearing where those little seeds began with this one. How either somebody discovers something in you or you find it and you're like, ooh, this. And some people here, I've seen some people who have joined in, and they may not know as much about, you know, your next level of dance where you're with Philadelphia and then Ailey. And, tell us more of like what took you to the place where then you had this spark when it was like, no, this is my life, and how you got to Philadelphia and then to Ailey.
Yeah,
like
yeah, in my high school, performing arts of Philadelphia, which used to be at the time connected to the Philadelphia School of College of Performing Arts, which is now University of the Arts. So there was a young lady, in my school, Evelyn Watkins. She was 2 years older than me. She was in my sister's class, and she was already dancing with Philadelphia. And to be honest, at that time, I didn't really know about Philadelphia, honestly. That wasn't sort of in our sphere. And she came up to me. She was, you know, beautiful dancer and just long and gorgeous. And I probably had a little girl crush on her anyway. But she said to me, you know, the place where I'm dancing, Philadelphia, they're having auditions for the summer program. It was like a training program that, you know, the company had raised money to be able to give, you know, local children free dance classes all summer long. And so, yeah, I was 14, 15, and I went and auditioned one early summer day, and there were so many. It was my first audition outside of my school, and it was it was very nerve-wracking because all up to that point, you know, we had in-school auditions for, like, you know, a solo in the choir or musicals, and that was cool because, you know, a little popularity was starting to build, and my talent was becoming more evident. But you know, being in a room where there's actual, like, real competition. So in any case, I got in, And I started taking classes at Philadelphia, West Philadelphia. The training was rigorous. You know, meeting Aunt Joan, Miss Joan Myers Brown for the first time was terrifying. You know,
Oh,
she's no joke, and she was very serious. And she's like, "Don't waste my time. Don't waste my money." So it was all those things. And by that next year, she invited me to not only take the training program courses, which in the fall months switched to the evenings, but also take the company classes, the first company classes. So
nice.
I basically was dancing for up to like 8 hours a day. I was taking my dance classes in school and then going to West Philadelphia to take an hour and a half with the training program and then another hour and a half with the company.
Wow.
And God rest her soul, Denise Jefferson, the former director of the Alvin Ailey School, she used to come every Wednesday to teach Graham to us.
Oh,
And I think she started to see how just exhausted I was, you know what I'm saying, by the end of that company class. And so she was, you know, imploring Aunt Joan to just let me take the company class. But she was like, no, I have to build up that
oh,
stamina. And it worked. And so by that next summer, I guess I was 15 going on 16-ish, I was taking class and it was the company class. And I was standing at my normal spot by the window looking out. And she came up and she came into the class and slid a company card next to me on the windowsill. And that's how I knew I was in the company. And it was just that simple. No fanfare, no
wow.
time card. So I'm in the company. So I'm in the company for, you know, several years, from basically 85 to 91, and started getting leading roles pretty quickly, dancing solos. It was going really well. I loved the company. I loved the work that we were
Yeah.
doing. At that time, we weren't traveling internationally, so I was really getting hungry to tour, like really tour overseas and see more of the world, all these things I had studied, you know, in my high school with ancient Greek art and all these things, African art. And so, you know, and of course people were encouraging me saying, hey, you know, like you're really getting good and maybe you should consider auditioning for Alvin Ailey. And I had, you know, posters of the company on my wall, Judith Jamison doing Cry,
Oh,
next to my poster of David Lee Roth, because, you know, rock and roll.
yes, yes. Diamond Day.
I mean, come on, right? And anyway, I actually did audition for Ailey twice. The first time I was just too young, just didn't have it. And the second time, they were doing like a nationwide audition tour, and I don't think they were really looking for anyone. They just, you know, they're union, so they have to do these auditions.
Yeah, yeah.
The third time was the charm, and after the second audition, I had kind of given up. But in 1990, Philadelphia debuted at the Joyce Theater in Chelsea for the first time,
Oh.
and I ended up meeting a gentleman, nothing untoward, ended up meeting a gentleman who was at the show and made his way backstage. He was a self-made millionaire, Brooklyn boy, and Italian with accent. He came back. He made his way backstage because that's how forceful he was. Not in a, you know, bad way, but just he worked his way backstage.
Yeah.
And he came looking for me. And he just told me at the end of that week, he kept coming every night to like, watch the show. By the end of the week, I finally relented, went out with him for a drink. And he just said to me, listen, you've got major talent and you need to be dancing in New York. You're too big for this company. What's his exact word? It wasn't were my words. And he is like, what company would you want to dance for? And I'd say, you know, well, Alan Neely's been a dream. But I don't know. I don't think, you know, I have what it takes. And so literally 6 months later, he bought us tickets to go see Alvin Ailey in New York. And I had seen the company before, but I was always so like,
Yeah.
but this time he was like, no, 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 no. Watch and learn. Watch what it is you need to do to get into the company. Look at maybe what you don't have. Most of it I felt like I did have, but for sure
Wow.
there was the length, you know, of the bodies, the crispness of the technique. I think I already had the charisma and the stage presence and the acting chops and all of that stuff. I just need to
Yeah.
tighten up on that technique. And so that's what I did. I mean, I worked even harder on my technique, even more than I already have been doing to dance the roles I danced in Philadelphia. I mean, because honestly, Philadelphia and Ailey, especially in former years, they shared a lot of choreographers like Tally Beatty and Louis Johnson and people like that. And
Yeah.
Tally Beatty, his work is not easy. You have to be on your shit, you know. And so yeah, by that May 1991, by that next audition, that was it. And I got in and spent the next almost 6.5 years there. And it was a great experience. It was a wonderful experience. Yeah, so that's
That,
the journey from school to Danko to Alvin Ailey.
and that's cool to have somebody who you don't know believe in you so much, and then turn your lens, like turn how you look at something and go, you know, yeah, you learn, what can you learn from this, and then
Yeah.
what you take from that. To I have this thing, it's like, what do you, from a learning experience, or you know, what do you take that you can add to yourself? But you,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you have to be reminded to look at something that way. And
Absolutely.
what a blessing it was that this guy was like, no, I'm going to come and find you. And,
Yeah.
and that just that.
Yeah, one of the biggest lessons he taught me was, you know, to never rest on your laurels. Never, you know, always keep whatever it is, whether it's, you know, you continuing to learn, you know, things around the world about yourself, about your body, just, you know,
Yeah.
keep tweaking the instrument, you know, keep tweaking that instrument, even if the instrument is your spirit, just keep working on yourself, you know.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
never, we're never going to be perfect. No one's perfect, but you know, you can always improve.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. You can't.
Yeah.
Um, so you were to mentioning how you had the cry poster when you were little, where you were going up with David Lee Roth. I love that. But then what was it like? And if you all who are listening, watching, oh my gosh, the compilation that you did this summer.
Mm.
Oh, but what was that like when you, here's your like idol, or this moment of solo, this beautiful thing, and then you get to do it. I can't even imagine.
It was unreal. I gotta tell you. When I first joined the company manager at the time, Donald Washington, God rest his soul, we were somewhere on tour, and you know, I was the first 6 months or so, I was really learning what it means to be in a company like Alvin Ailey. It's just, you know, it's big time. Not saying that Danko wasn't, but it's definitely a notch up, right?
Yeah.
Be real. And so even you know, making sure the bun is tight, the hair is slick, all that stuff. And we had just done a show, and some of my hair, and I had actually had a perm back in those days when I was dancing, so my hair was a bit straighter. But you know, some of my hair started coming out of my bun. So by the end of the performance, you know, there were things
Yeah.
and the next day I went to go get my per diem from the company manager's office at the theater, and he said to me, you know, Miss G, you got to get that hair together. We can't have you, you know, with sloppy hair on that stage, especially when you do cry. And this is my first year in the company. And I was just like, Donald, I'm not doing cry. Like, don't even say that. He was like, I see it for you. I see it for you. And I'm sad that he didn't get to see me dance it. But actually, we did a secret Santa that year, and he gave me a bottle of like bath oil. And I still have it. I never opened it. I still have it. I'm a sentimental fool.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Dancing, learning, first of all, being told I was going to be learning it that year. I'll never forget. We were in San Diego, and I had just finished doing a trio from the Ballet Blues Suite, and it was one of those all Ailey excerpt evenings. And it's a very dramatic trio. We're supposed to be like ladies of the night. House of the Rising Sun is the music.
Yeah.
There is a house down in you. So, anyways, very dramatic. And it was intermission, and I was gathering up my leg warmers and things from side stage. And I'm walking across. Judy's coming towards me, and she stops in front of me. So I'm like, oh shit. What did I do? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Is my hair
I
okay?
had a great relationship. So I wasn't that fearful, but she looks me up and down. She goes, yeah, it's time for you to start letting him cry. Just like that. Again, no fanfare, just very like,
And
you know, that's it. And I started learning it that fall on tour. We were in Europe and, you know, got to finally perform it. My first performance of Cry was Germany 1996 at the end of the tour. And just, you know, learning it, all the support that I had from the other dancers. It's not an easy solo. You know, it's 16 minutes of just you and you alone. No one can help you, pull you through it, but you and your God.
Yeah.
You know, so and I credit obviously having worked with Philadelphia and knowing what it took to push through performance, because if anyone knows Philadelphia, they know, you know, we would do 6 ballets a night that were hardcore. You know, we might do 2 Tally Beatty ballets, two Jean Hill Sagan ballets, Elisa Monte. I might have to do a solo. So you really have to know what, I mean, you're a performer. You have to know what to tap into so that you're not on stage looking like a limp noodle. So it was something else.
What did it feel like after the very first performance? Like what was going on?
It was so emotional because also, as you know, I was already injured by then.
Yeah.
So besides, you know, some of the pain that I was feeling, that was just physical, it was just so emotionally rewarding and validating. My very first performance, I had an extended standing ovation. In fact, it was so incredible that, you know, they closed the curtain and my fellow company members rushed on stage. Oh my God! You know, I'm crying, everybody's crying. And then the stage manager at the time, Chris Dunner, who's still with the company as head of PR, he told us the company to clear the stage. They had to reopen the curtain because the audience was not leaving. And the memory of that will never, ever, ever, ever leave me, hopefully. And it was pretty incredible. It was pretty fantastic. And I just felt so proud of myself, proud of the story I was able to tell, and, you know, the response from the audience said it all. You know, it was incredible. It was exhausting. I think I still had to do revelations after that, but I mean, you know, that's what we did. And so, but it was amazing. It was amazing. And to get those flowers. I mean, each time a woman does Cry, she gets a huge bouquet of flowers.
Yeah.
So I did that, and yeah, it was amazing.
It's one of the most, I think it's just one of the most beautiful solos. I can't, you know, to be able to do that is just.
Oh yeah. I mean, and Judy, you know, Judy was great about it. She, you know, obviously it made her a star. And so for her to trust me with that role was also just very humbling, as it was motivating to want to do a great job and to really think about the story, think about all, you know, the moments. And she didn't really coach me directly. She gave me a couple of musical notes.
Yeah.
She didn't watch. I was taught the work through video, and she actually herself told me to watch the Donna Wood video version.
Oh my goodness.
Another beautiful star with Alvin Ailey. But I learned it from Nasha Thomas, you know, women in the company that were doing it at the time. Renee Robinson, and they're both in that compilation video from this summer. Along with me. And the first time I ran it fully was the first time Judy saw me do the whole piece. And we were in a closed off studio, papered wall windows in Lyon, France. And the only thing she said to me afterwards was, "You got it." So even though soon thereafter I had to retire,
yeah,
my injury, I feel like I put enough in it where it was at a level that I could feel satisfied and happy with, you know, and not feel like, yeah, I lost out somehow.
Yeah. After having gone through all like that journey, that experience, and then being able to, I mean, not all of us are, as artists, are fortunate to, you know, paths do whatever change or for whatever reason, and there's to get a dream role. But having like this whole journey, what advice, what words of wisdom would you have for somebody up and coming who's like, for whatever, you know, musician, artist,
Mhm.
dancer, actor,
Yeah.
from your experience?
You know, I it sounds so cliche, but I would just say stay true to yourself. You know, that way if you happen to make it, or you know, you can feel authentic to who you are, and then if you don't make it or just whatever, then you don't feel like you cheated yourself by trying to be something that you weren't, and then now you feel extra shitty because
Yeah, yeah,
you've been faking it all this time, and then you still don't get anywhere. And so I would just say as much as you can, because I know there are a lot of influences out there, and you know, different fields, you know, music or whatever, where you have an agent that might be you know, directing you one way or another. But you know, try to just do the work, stay humble, stay focused, and just know it's there's a lot of competition out there. So there's gonna be more no's, as you know, than yeses.
yeah,
You know, I auditioned for Broadway several times and never landed anything on Broadway. But
yeah,
I just feel like, you know, what's for you is for you, and what's not for you is not for you. It's not personal. It's just
yeah,
the roll of the dice, honestly. You know,
yeah.
so
But I think that reminder of authenticity, and it, I don't think it's is cliche. I think I think because, you know, there are so many, there are so many people that can push you in a certain way, like you're saying, and well, you've got to be this, you've got to be that, and you know, as actors, you deal with that. Well, typecasting, where do I fit? I've got to make myself fit here, and there's just, you got to try to make your body into look like something because of all of that stuff. But ultimately, at the core, authenticity and truth and speaking your truth,
yeah.
that's your art, no matter what it is, what form it takes. If it doesn't come from that deep,
Hmm.
authentic place, I think you're gonna get lost, and your art will be
Absolutely.
lost. You know, it's that Martha Graham quote, that real famous quote she has about, um, you know, there's only one of you, and
Right.
that's that authenticity, I think.
That's absolutely right. And even in life, you know, and I think just a little quick sidebar, even like with social media, you know, and I was reading something the other day about, you know, trying to get, you know, your teens, if you have children, not to spend so much time on social media because it really affects, I believe, their, you know, their self-worth and their insecure. I mean, like magazines used to do to us back in the day, right?
Yeah,
And you look
yeah,
at a magazine, everybody's airbrushed and skinny. And so,
yeah,
you know, if you're just a little bit insecure about yourself, that can send you spiraling. So,
yeah,
you
and
know,
it
even
still
like with social
does.
media, and these kids are
You know,
seeing, yeah, curated lives and thinking that that's how their lives are all the time and
yeah,
not the realities. So, yeah, just staying true to your authentic self.
yeah, yeah. Um, so on the, you have a woman of many talents. Um, how did you discover your singing voice?
Oh man.
What was that? Because, you know, she, those of you who don't know, Danny G has her own band, Sugar Bush, which I am so happy I got to see last, when was
Oh,
that?
my little sugar
Oh
bush.
my gosh. Oh, that was so good. Oh my gosh. The band needs to come back, and as soon
Oh,
as live music or let's go outside, that's got to happen.
yeah.
But then also with singing with Gloria Gaynor,
Oh, that song.
Cher, um, Sister Sledge. Like, how did you discover that talent?
Well, you know, I got singers in my family. My grandmother, you know, was a jazz singer slash in later life a gospel singer in our church. You know, when we were, you know, in our 7, 8 years old, my mother was married to a gentleman who had a beautiful, rich baritone voice, and he joined our church choir. And my sister and I subsequently joined the children's choir. So I don't know how much singing that was really, but we thought we were doing something. And but always just singing around the house. My sister has a beautiful voice. My mother has a rich alto voice. My dad, I mean, unfortunately, my dad and I had a very strange relationship, but apparently he had a beautiful singing voice as well. Rest his soul. But I didn't really discover my voice until high school at the same performing arts school because we had to take choir.
Yeah.
And so I started singing in some of our school musicals and developed an ear for harmony. And one of my school's director, actually, Dr. Carlton Lake, he was the director of the Philadelphia's boys choir. So he used to say to me that he could see me being like a professional mezzo soprano opera singer with my tone and all these things. And I was just like,
wow.
what? But the dance sort of took off, and I stuck with that. But kept singing through the years. I mean, even in Alvin Ailey, there are numerous dancers at that time who had beautiful voices. And so when we'd be on tour, like Desmond Richardson or the late QB Burke, we would go off and, to nightclubs that had open mics and just like sing after our shows, or we'd find a piano somewhere in the theater and just work on stuff together for fun. And so I continued singing. And so writing music as well. I never took music theory or classes, but self-taught on the piano, and started writing some songs. And then after my injury and subsequently having to retire from dance, it was my songwriting and that way of expressing myself that really got me out of my depression and all of it. So I'm so thankful that I had this other talent that I could lean into, I should say, and explore. And I was encouraged again by an individual to pursue it. And again, having people around me that, nudged me in certain ways and gave me confidence to really pursue it. So ended up moving back to New York, joined a band. My first band was Medusa Oblongata.
What a great name.
Yeah, the director of that band was Greg Tate, the incredible journalist here in New York, who's still a good friend of mine. And I started meeting all these interesting, fascinating, eclectic, sexy, gorgeous people in this downtown, uptown music world. And then through that, I was able to start a band because I started meeting all these people. So I started my band out of necessity. Actually, I was singing backgrounds for the great poet Jessica Care Moore at a show. And the promoter for the club came up to me afterwards and said, oh my God, you're amazing. Do you have a band? I'd like to book you in August for my club. And I lied. I lied and said, yes, I do. Well, yes, I do. And I threw together a band and picked the name. I think I told you this story. I was also doing some fitness teaching and personal training. And the girl that I was training back in Philly, I was back and forth between the two cities a lot. She was getting ready for a ski trip. And so I was getting her legs strong and in shape, whatever. And I asked her, where were you going? Where are you going? And she said, Mount Sugarbush in Vermont. And I was like, that's hot.
That's right.
That's the name of my band. But I took out the R because, sugar.
Yeah.
Anyway, so started my band. I reconnected with Kathy Sledge after I stopped dancing. I had been working with her as a backing dancer prior to getting into Ailey. Met her through dance class. She came to see a dance class that I was in with Roni Koresh and picked me out of the group. So I worked with her for like a year and change, and then I got into Ailey and didn't speak to her just because of touring for like 6 years or so. And then she found that I was back in Philly, found me, called me, and asked me to come work with her again as a dancer. And then she heard me singing one day backstage, and I was working on my demo. Remember those kids' demos?
Yeah, demos.
And she was like, listen, I'm back with my sisters, and all four of us are always available to work together. Would you be willing to be that third or fourth harmony? And I was like, hell yeah. And so I started performing with Kathy Sledge in just straight up music shows, singing, strengthening my voice, my ear. Like working with them was probably the best thing ever, because those voices, those harmonies, I'm telling you, it's like on the job training. Amazing. So look, working with her led to meeting Gloria Gaynor, and then me working with her as a backing vocalist for 4 years. And then the Cher gig just happened really. Again, luck, I think. I don't know. The universe said, hey, you need a gig real quick.
Because you were being true to yourself. There was something, you were following your bliss, your joy, your passion. So
I believe
got rewarded
that.
for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I believe that that's a thing. I think it's what Joseph Campbell says. Oh, there's Marvin. Hi, Marvin.
Yeah, I mean, with Sugar Bush, though, I mean, independent musicians, it's hard. It's hard here in New York or anywhere, but I never really had an agent or a manager or anything like that. It's always been a one-woman show. But definitely have people that have helped me with it, and I have an amazing group of musicians and singers, and but had the band now 20 plus years, and so I don't know if I want to continue it or not. I mean, obviously I miss it a lot, and we'll see what happens. Yeah.
What's your favorite song to sing?
The song I wrote, Monster, actually, I wrote it years ago. And I feel like the lyrics of the song, just every year, they make sense. So I think, and not to toot my own horn, but with a lot of good music, the lyrics can stand the test of time. And, the song Monster is basically about, I was in a relationship and I was basically deemed to be a monster because I stood up for myself. And so the person basically tried to gaslight me, and to think I was this evil person because I'm taking ownership of my feelings and my truths. And so, but you can apply that to so many situations, like the situation we're in these last 4 years, where people like tell you you're awful because, you're standing up for yourself. So you must be a villain if you're basically protecting your right to be a human being.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I say toot your own horn. That's the other thing that makes, you have to be able to do that you have to be able to do that with the right kind of ego, the right belief in yourself to be an artist. And it's so it's valuable to be able to say, yeah, I did this. I did.
Absolutely. Sometimes I think, I don't know if it's a woman thing, but I know at least for me, I think sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit, and it's okay every once in a while. As I've gotten older, I've gotten better at it, but it's okay every once in a while to be like, yeah, I'm the shit. No.
Right, yeah.
Sometimes you just need to just give yourself a little pat on the back. Oh my God, my friend DJ Lee Jones, who has also been an amazing support to me I've known Lee since I'm 17.
Oh, cool.
Go Phillies. He said I need a wine sponsor. He's right. I think he's right. I need a wine sponsor.
Sean T has a wine sponsor.
He does.
Yes. I don't know what it is, but he's got one, so you should have one.
I need a wine sponsor. You're absolutely right. I'm thinking Lee. Right. If anybody out there has a connection with Malbec or Prosecco, champagne, let me know.
All that. I have a list of questions that I want to end with that are kind of fun, I think.
Okay.
But I was thinking about that. This isn't one of them, but this is kind of jumping. And for those of you who don't know, like, we're looking at, you can act, you can sing, you can dance, you can write music, you play, like, you have so many talents that's like so inspiring. And then like fast forward, jump cut, the dance curator for Summer Stage, and I was listening to you did Teresa Ruth Howard. You did her podcast.
Yeah,
it was like March 25th, and we were all in like, what the hell's going on in this world?
I know.
And you were talking about summer stage and not knowing what's going to happen. Would there be a season? Would there be not? What was going to happen? And I was listening to that and like hearing the real raw emotion, voice of that, because of everybody, the world. But now, and if those of you who don't know, go check out, just look at Summer Stage. You can see what's been done. The YouTube channel, Summer Stage Anywhere. Dance classes, dance performances, the dance film for National Dance Day, all the activities for that. You, like, now when you look back on what that journey was and the way that you kept us living with art through this.
Thank you.
What do you think about that? What are your, I just think it's incredible.
Thank you. I mean, the first thing I have to say is I'm just thankful that I have the relationships that I do with the people that, you know, came through for me. I had very little budget. I say that openly. I had very little budget to do all that I did this summer. And so I'm thankful for everyone that stepped up for the program. In the beginning, I mean, obviously, we all would rather have been doing what we normally do out in the parks and, you know, seeing each other and performing and not having to cancel shows for artists that ultimately did not get paid, which is also awful. But when I look back over what we were able to do and what I was able to do with the dance films and the panel, the talks.
The panels, the talks, all of that.
I'm very proud of myself. I'm very proud of the organization. I'm very proud of our crew, you know, especially those that were doing the editing and having to step up and all of a sudden become digital editors.
Right.
I mean, but it, you know, the silver lining in it is that it really gave me an opportunity to flex some other creative muscles. And so I'm excited about the mashup of how we'll keep that going into next year. And I don't think as an organization we're going to just abandon the digital stuff now that we've started and we've captured an audience and it's growing still. But you know, I'm just really proud of it. And now I have, you know, because unfortunately we haven't really archived and filmed a lot of our events, which is sad. But now we have this digital, you know, catalog of events that we were able to do, music and dance and spoken word. And so really, just really proud of it all and just ultimately thankful to the artists that participated.
I mean, you had artists from all over, and that's it. I mean, it was global. It's not just New York as far as participants, but you know, people all over the world, all over can see that and participate, and it was life. I followed so much of it. I mean, you even have the meditations, which are still up.
Yes.
So say, you know, there were times I would be like sitting there doing them, be like, okay, it was the grounding moment, those focusing moments that you need. So there was a whole thing to like, let's do some fun, crazy salsa class, just live, and then the dance day, dance film. Oh my gosh.
And honestly, that came together so beautifully. I can watch. I watched it actually like a week ago, and just to watch it again with like rested eyes, and it just really was beautiful. Again, collaborators and arts community coming through. But even with all the digital stuff, I honestly was able to showcase more companies than I would in a normal year. So that in and of itself was pretty spectacular. Like the I think Bradley is still on here maybe from the Brooklyn Dance Festival. You know, the Brooklyn Takeover that one Sunday, People Speak Sunday, and they were able to highlight a ton of companies out of Brooklyn or from around the city that have performed at the Brooklyn Museum on first Saturdays. So I got to really just connect with a whole new slew of artists and people.
I think there's just, I don't think any, you know, we're not going to get away from the digital. I mean, we need it live, you know. Definitely can be enhanced by by spreading the word bigger, or keeping some of that work alive for a while, and all getting into all of the the dance companies that have been doing their digital seasons and things like that. It's we're going to be with it for a while. I can't wait for live to happen.
I know. I mean, some places are figuring it out. I was encouraged by what I was seeing. The Kotzbahn Arts Festival with Stella Abrera. I think I'm saying her name right. From she just retired from ABT.
Oh yeah.
Or Kotzbahn. Even Lincoln Center, they're figuring it out. So
yeah,
we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure it out.
We will, I think. And I think there's so much to be said now for artists to say in this world. There's a lot to for an artist mission to speak out. And
absolutely.
Make art about all of this. It's important. So yeah.
One of the things I really enjoyed, enjoy might be a wrong word, but looking how people dealt with isolation, because even in normal times, isolation is, one of those subjects that people don't talk about a lot.
Yeah.
To mental health, and especially or with our aging population, the isolation of our seniors, our elders. And I think now that everyone was in sort of isolation, unless you have a partner that you live with or a roommate,
right?
What that feels like, that's an awful, awful, awful feeling.
It's terrible.
Yeah. And I hope it just makes people, as we come out of this, that we don't lose some of the things we gained, like just a little bit more humanity. Check on your fellow man, check on your neighbor, check on people. I know we're all zoomed out, but face-to-face thing is just, it got us through.
Yeah,
keeping the arts got us through.
And being able to not sink into that. It could be really easy to sink into that isolation, and I know I did sometimes. But and I get zoomed out. But thank God for Zoom and Instagram. It's true. Okay, so I have 10. I'm gonna do the James Lipton's 10 questions.
Oh shoot! Okay.
From the Actors Studio.
Okay.
Because
we have about seven minutes. Let's make sure we're on time. Okay.
I think we'll be good.
Okay.
Because they're yeah. What is your favorite word?
Love.
Oh, good word. What is your least favorite word?
Hate.
Yeah. What turns you on?
Talent.
Yeah, right? Oh,
I'm a sucker for talent.
Me too.
The awful relationships I was in.
When I
so talented.
What turns you off?
Dishonesty. Oh
yeah. That's a good one. What sound or noise do you love?
Laughter. Especially kids.
Right? Kids' laughter is so joyful. And so I read this thing the other day. It was like, kids laugh. I don't remember the numbers, but it was something like 500,000 times a day. Adults laugh twice.
Oh.
Maybe you should try laughing more. It's like,
I laugh a lot. I love
laugh a lot.
Yeah.
What noise or sound do you hate?
The sound of pain. However that manifests. Having been in the hospital several times in my life, hearing the sound of moaning and the pain of others, that's hard.
Yeah. Ooh. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one you can bleep if you want to. What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck. Sorry, Aunt Tony.
Sorry, Mom. We watch later. James Lipton's fault. I used to love when he asked that.
I probably say it too much in my normal days, but I'm trying to curb it. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying.
What profession, other than your own or the many you have had, would you like to attempt?
Honestly, I would like to do some straight ahead acting. Like just,
I would love to see that so bad.
yeah,
You can do a play
I'd like to
together.
do that.
Yeah, I would love to see you do that.
Mm.
What profession would you not like to do?
You know, that's a hard one to say because I don't want anybody to feel, you know, crappy.
That's
But
true. We blame James Lipton.
I don't know what I would. Probably. I don't know. Maybe. I'm sorry, garbage people, but like being a garbage person because I have a very sensitive nose, and so I walk by trash and I get like nauseous. So
Yeah,
probably that.
yeah, something with.
Sorry.
Oh, that is
We
actually.
need you. You're essential.
If James Lipton were alive, I would make him change that question.
Yeah.
And the last one. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Welcome home.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Welcome.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are his 10 questions. I always loved when he would ask those at the end of it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm gonna ask Danny that. And see what we
right?
get.
So wait, so before we yes, kudos to the trash cleaners, kudos to all of our community workers, kudos to everybody in the service industry. We know we love you. We know we love you. We need you. You do wonderful work. Kudos to everybody. But before we do actually go, you guys don't forget Triple Sweat Fit. It's down at the bottom there. I will link it to my page. And anything you, Shannon, want us to know that you're working on that we should know about.
I mean that's about it probably right now. I've been working really hard on triple sweat fit. I should work on my vocal warm-ups to say that on triple sweat fit. Yeah. Building my classes, and I have a killer functional fitness class. I killed myself today. Dance. The theme of the month this month is lyrical, but I needed a strong song and I didn't want it to be angsty. I love angst. I was like, I need power. Well, I love Beyonce. And so we're doing lyrical Beyonce to the best thing I never had, because she throws down. So
she's amazing.
Yeah, so just trying to build that and I'm trying to practice my guitar. So it's very bad, but I got some chords. But trying to stay connected, learn what I can. I decided to do a 200-hour yoga training.
Good for you.
So just branching out in the areas I love, because one thing I get so tired of people saying these days is, well, you just have to reinvent yourself. You have to go do something else. And they say, go do something else. Yeah. Like, I spent my life training for these things.
Yeah.
I will not give them up. Do they have to change and reinvent?
Yeah.
But I'm going to reinvent and keep my authenticity.
That's right.
Because
it's just really adding to your arsenal.
Yeah.
Like, what you're doing, just add to the arsenal so that,
you
know, we're living in an ever-changing, unstable world. And, you know, I mean, I got to say it before we go in this last minute, like, I am praying. Yeah, I'm praying. I am cautiously optimistic, but we all have to stay flexible because, again, with me, you know, I lost my dance career at the peak of my, you know, I was just cresting into principal solo world and doing great things. So, you know, you just have to be flexible and know that things will work out. They will. Just surround yourself with good people, do good things yourself, be kind, you know. But I'm just like, come on, America.
I know, let's pull through.
We can do this. We can do this.
And then we can have a joyful dance party.
Yes, we can. What are you doing this weekend? It's supposed to be beautiful.
Yeah, I'm going to go to dinner at my friends in Jersey City tomorrow night, and I've got a bike ride planned on Sunday.
Great.
So I'm going to actually have a weekend.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I might go bike riding too tomorrow by the water. We'll see. I kind of want to like just relax and watch, not overdo the outcome stuff with the election, but
Yeah.
you know, it's a lot on all of our minds, I'm
We should
sure.
do a
But
bike ride together one day.
we should figure that out. I have
Yeah.
my city bike pass, and
Yeah.
we'll do that. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Shannon, for being my guest host today. We should do this again.
I
This was
know. This was
awesome.
amazing. Thank you for letting me
Thank you for
interview
being
you.
such a great friend.
Mwah, I love
All
you.
your support, and you know, I hope to continue supporting you throughout everything as well. And yeah, this will be up on my page probably within the hour, and I will archive it. And you guys, if you missed any part of it, you can watch it. So happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Good luck to America, and let's come together. No matter what happens, we gotta come together, because that's what makes America great, if we can come together. So I love you guys. Happy Friday. Stay encouraged. Stay safe. Wear your masks. And thank you, Shannon. I'll call you after this.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.